Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Rhino Movement. It's me, Iron Rhino. Um, I have been thinking a lot about how I wanted to do these Fitness Friday videos and how I wanted to talk about things like uh, supplements, doing some supplement reviews, doing some just kind of talking about my general thoughts on supplements or the ingredients within certain things. I wanted to talk about diet plans, not just weight loss diet plans, but the word diet has a lot of negative connotation in certain spaces, but not everything that revolves around the word diet means weight loss. It can be the diet that you're eating for weight loss, for maintenance, for weight gain, for performance. It can just be the diet you're eating for life. It doesn't have to do with anything fitness related necessarily, but there are different diet plans that I would like to talk about, and a lot of them will revolve around weight loss, not because I am dictating what anybody else do with their lives, but because a lot of the diets, and especially the diets that I see that are potentially dangerous for people, are focused on weight loss. Um, and that's kind of some myth and mysticism around the industry that I kind of want to dispel. Uh, I also want to talk about workout programs, different things that you see. There aren't as many of those that I'm gonna bring up that are detrimental, I would say, but there might be some. I also don't want anybody to go into a routine thinking that they have to just destroy their body in order to get any kind of result, because unless you are at the absolute peak of where your body is able to be, it's probably not necessary. um so I am doing some research into some different supplements I want to talk about, and some different of those diet plans, especially the riskier diet plans that are out there, that are kind of being sold in MLM kind of ways, for lack of better terms. But the ones that are just the really fanatical, here's what you have to do, it's gonna suck, but if you suffer through it, you'll lose some weight. Because I've seen a lot of diet programs out there that are putting people on starvation calories and convincing them that this is the only way they're going to improve themselves. And I can tell you right now, I could write you a meal plan that meets the same caloric deficit, that's going to be overall better for your body. And even then, I wouldn't do that. It is reckless to jump on some of these diet plans that are massive calorie cuts. You don't want to try to make your body live off of 1,000 calories a day when you don't need to eat 1,000 calories a day to lose weight. Now, I'm also not a doctor. I'm not a registered dietitian. I'm not in any way giving medical advice. For the general population of particularly slightly to like moderately obese, um I'm more kind of gearing this information toward you. Um I am considerably overweight. However, based on body fat percentages, when I have gone to get those things checked, I'm not a my 600-pound life case. Um, I am in the morbid obesity category, but it's not something that I need to cut down to starvation calories to get myself out of. Um, and also, I'm just here to impart some information, some of it anecdotal, some of it based on research. As much as possible, I do look up scientific studies, especially when it comes to the supplements that I'm wanting to talk about. I look into actual research. I listen to peer review articles. I try to get as much of the scientific information as possible, and then I have to kind of interpret it to myself to be able to break it down into terms that I can understand. And even some of that may be a little higher than what some people may really get. Um, Not that I'm a genius, but I've been in and around the fitness industry for a decade ish. So I have kind of built up a little bit of extra knowledge about some of the scientific processes that happen inside of our bodies. And I just want to say, as much as possible, I'm going to try to break them down into terms that most people should be able to understand. There may still be some terms that I use that are a little lofty. Um, in those cases, I do definitely recommend either reaching out to myself or, uh, you know, as much as I hate to say, just go Google it. There is a certain amount that can be said for just finding out what a term I'm using means. Um, so with all of that being said, I actually started this video with the intention of talking about um, a supplement today, but I wanted to kind of give a little more insight into what these videos in particular are going to be about. And I'm currently toying with the idea of calling them Fitness Fridays and releasing them every Friday, but honestly, it's information that I would like to get out there probably a little more rapidly. So I may end up releasing one or two of these videos a week because, especially this time of year, there are a lot of people who are trying to work on self improvement, and a lot of that in the form of controlling your physical health. So there's a lot of good information that gets put out there in general. However, there's a lot of snake oil that's going to get thrown around and sold at massive markups because supplement companies also understand that you are out here trying to improve yourself and they are going to try to make as much money off of it as possible. I'm going to caveat and say I'm not referring to all supplement companies. I do think there are companies out there who release legitimate products. Um, there are a few products that I will go ahead and talk about just super briefly in this video that I either believe in or use or, what have you. But the things that, if you are watching this video and you're somebody who's trying to take control of your physical health this year, I'm going to just rattle off a couple do's and don'ts, I guess, for lack of a better term. Um, so, to get that started, protein powders. No, in no reason, in no way do I think protein powders are absolutely necessary. I do actively use protein powder. Most mornings, my breakfast consists of a iced coffee that I've brewed the night before and left in the fridge overnight so it's cold, uh, with an ample enough amount of protein in it to get me going for the day because I'm bad at eating breakfasts. And I don't agree that you have to eat breakfast every day. Well, I mean, technically you do because you're breaking a fast no matter what time you eat, but you know what I mean. I don't feel like you need to wake up and force feed. Um, but for me to reach the goals I'm trying to reach, getting an ample amount of protein in my system and getting it in there pretty regularly throughout the day so I'm not eating these massive meals constantly. It's important to me for my personal goals for what I am trying to do to have that protein coffee in the morning because I know I'm not going to sit down and make eggs and an additional protein source and some sort of fruit or vegetable to go with it or any of that stuff. Like, and I'm not even saying you have to get all of that in at every meal. I am saying I know I'm not going to eat a good fat and a good protein before I go train in the mornings. So I'm going to have a protein coffee Um, and it's kind of twofold. The other side of that is another supplement that I don't feel that you need to have, but if you are a person who is reliant on it, it is a good and usable supplement, and that is caffeine. Caffeine gets me going in the mornings. I usually, I'd say on an average day, I probably consume more caffeine than I should, but uh, I usually start my day with some sort of caffeine. Even if it's a non training day, I'll still have either the protein coffee or I'll have a diet soda in the morning while I'm eating my breakfast on a day that I'm going to eat breakfast over training. Uh, be careful with it. There is a such thing as too much caffeine. If you're not currently using caffeine and you function through your days just fine, don't start using caffeine because you think you need to go to the gym or to achieve your goals. Unless your goal is to get addicted to caffeine, it's not going to help you realistically. If you are using caffeine already, using caffeine to help keep you awake enough and alert enough to get through going to the gym or doing whatever you need to do for the day, use caffeine. The other one that I will say is a definite pro for me is creatine. I personally use creatine monohydrate. Um, Creatine is a supplement that is widely known throughout the fitness industry to be the most researched supplement that you can take. Um, the biggest thing that has made me start taking creatine is the replenishment of your phosphocreatine, which is one of the base sources of energy that your body uses. It's actually the best source of energy within our bodies. It is the energy system that our body burns through when our adrenaline reacts and we get that fight or flight sense. Whether you're fighting or flighting, um, that creatine is the thing that your body burns through first. The problem is after you burn through it, it takes a long time for your body to rebuild without some sort of outside help. Now, granted, again, just like protein, you can get creatine through food sources. It is not an absolutely necessary supplement for you to take, as there is no absolutely necessary supplement for you to take. However, I know that I'm not getting enough creatine in my diet through what I eat, so I supplement with creatine. I follow a loading phase where I take 4 scoops a day for 5 days. So a total of 100 grams over my first 5 days. And then after that, I just take between 5 and 10 grams a day, depending on if it's a training day or a non-training day. But that first big shot of creatine intake that you're hitting is to get the creatine stores built up in your body. It also helps with things like hydrating your muscles. It helps you perform better whether you're lifting weights, running, fighting. Um, I don't just recommend it for people who are trying to get as strong as possible. People who are trying to run marathons could use creatine. It is a major fuel source in your body, and replenishing it is a good thing. It also does help, it's been proven in some studies to help with cognitive function. So even if you are not trying to crush it on physical goals, there may be, keyword may, be some application for you for creatine. I am still not saying anyone needs creatine. I am saying you should do some research and look into what it does and see if maybe there's some benefit for you in your life. Things that I will say not to take. Do not buy a fat burner. There is some research on some supplements that go into some fat burners that may look slightly promising. By and large, in what I've looked into, there is not a fat burner on the market that you can find anything that will actually be beneficial to losing weight. The biggest thing that they put in there that may actually help with some sort of caloric burn is caffeine. If you are already caffeinated, you do not need it. If you are not if you don't use any caffeine in your life right now, don't start. Um, I don't think there is literally no use for a fat burner. I do think 99.999% of fat burners that you find on the market right now are going to make your pee more expensive and do nothing to help benefit you in the long run. CLA, I don't even remember. It's con. I don't even remember what it stands for at this point. I'm not gonna lie, my brain's a little foggy. Um, but linolenic acid. It's conjugated conjectual. I don't something linolenic acid. CLA. It is proven over and over again. Well, first we'll talk about what they say that it does. They tell you it will help recompose your fat to be smaller so you don't appear to have as much fat, and it helps you lose weight via that means. Anecdotally, I have taken CLA numerous times for long periods of time and seen zero change, even when my diet has stayed the exact same and my training has stayed the exact same. There's been no additional benefit that I've seen from taking CLA. And scientifically speaking, every study that I've seen about it, CLA has no bioavailability when taken orally. So, no matter how much of it you put in your body through your mouth, I wouldn't suggest putting it in your body any other way, but no matter how much of it you put in your body, it's not going to do anything. It's almost no transfer from ingesting the pill to it actually having a function in your body. And that's why you can take as much of it as you want and it won't add any additional change to what you're doing. So be wary. And then I will definitely say pre-workouts. The caveat here again being, if you're somebody who's already going to the gym, you already are a heavy caffeine user, anything like that, the caffeine content in pre-workouts may be what helps get you through your day, your workout, whatever. There are certain amino acids in some pre-workouts that have a benefit. But this is another 90-95% of what's on the market as far as a stimulant based pre-workout is not going to offer what you want it to offer. It is going to give you a lot of caffeine and then very small amounts of things that may actually be beneficial. This is both anecdotal and from researching different companies' pre-workouts. You're going to get anywhere from like 100 to 400 milligrams of caffeine. To give you an idea, the stronger energy drinks on the market offer like 300 milligrams of caffeine. If you're drinking 300 milligrams of caffeine in an energy drink and you're drinking 100 in a large coffee and you may have one or two diet sodas throughout your day, do you need another 300 or 400 milligrams of caffeine in your system? Realistically, no. Make sure that some of that other caffeine you're drinking throughout the day happens to be close to the time that you're going to work out so that you have that little boost of caffeine to get you through your workout, and you'll be fine. If you are not already a heavy caffeine user or you don't use caffeine at all, I would avoid any stimulant-based pre-workout because it's not going to serve you any benefit other than getting a bunch of caffeine in your system. There are like pump formula pre-workouts that may lean a little bit heavier. Some of them use creatine, some of them use more amino acids that can actually be beneficial to you while you're in the gym. Um, but overall, I don't think you need a pre workout. The amino acids that you may be searching for in those pre workouts are available as a pill, as a standalone supplement. I don't think pre workouts are worth your money. This is, again, just my opinion. I am not a doctor. I am not, I don't know each person who's watching this video's individual situation. Do your research, see if it makes sense for you. But those are my suggestions, especially going into this new year with some people who may not really have a better grasp on what they need to get to their goals. The primary thing you need is to look at your diet and your fitness levels. If you're trying to lose weight, you need to figure out roughly what your maintenance calories are and eat below that. If you're trying to gain weight, you need to figure out what your maintenance calories are and eat above that. Try to eat a good mixture of fruits and vegetables with your proteins and your carbs and fats. Try to, move a little more. Try to make sure you're getting enough sleep. These things help. You do not need supplements, but if you do go down the route of supplements, make sure what you're using is actually working for you. Make sure you're not just throwing whatever trendy product you see on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or wherever. Make sure you're not just throwing that into your system in hopes that it'll get you the results you're looking for. Please be careful with yourselves out there. This year, we're all taking a chance at getting better. And the last thing you need to do is start shoving supplements into your body that aren't going to get you where you need to go. Take care of yourself. Be safe out there. I'll see you all next time.